Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all, depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash, they lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debuckles podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Kevin. Going around the table is Shane.
I'm Shane, playing Alexander the Human Bard.
And Blake.
I'm Blake, and I'll be playing Juliet, the Dragonborn eldritch knight / wizard.
And John.
I am playing Alunodas, who is very happy to be in this city and not at all nervous. That's you. You're nervous. You.
And Hannah.
I'll be playing Talia, the human rogue, and she is very nervous. I don't know what Alunodas is talking about.
See? It's totally not me. It's you. It's you. You're the nervous one.
Yeah, I might get my first TPK this episode if you guys fuck it up. So the last time on Dungeons and Debuckles podcast, you guys made your way to Feydale, where you received a chilly reception. After some talking, the bard rolled a natural 20 on his deception check. After you name-dropped a NPC who is hunting you down, who is very powerful, that you learned was in the city as you were entering. So there's that. You made it inside and were escorted to a inn where you said you were going to rest for the night. Alexander, you did a disguise self and went out and started exploring the city. Didn't really find much. Let's see, there was Juliet, who also went out under the guise of her evening prayers. You went to the Temple of Karelin, where you prayed for a while and observed what was going on. Then you went back to the inn, and that's where you find yourselves now. So at this point, it is starting to get late evening. You are inside the inn. Downstairs, there were 3 guards who were off duty, who had started drinking. There was also a noble over in the corner that was drinking, that tried to get Alexander to have a drink with him, and he refused and went upstairs. Outside, there has been a guard placed outside of this inn to watch you. So, what are we doing now?
Alunodas is going to go down to the cart and grab a bag of flour, carry it back up to the room.
Okay. So you walk downstairs and same innkeeper sees you come down. You look around the room and you'll notice that she's staring at you. There's also the 3 guards who were drinking there previously are still drinking and having a conversation. They see you walk downstairs and you start hearing some grumblings. Give me a perception check.
I'm gonna nail this, I tell you what. Possibly. 24.
The common room here isn't very noisy, so you don't have any problem hearing them start grumbling, and you hear "damn wood elf," various uncomplimentary things about you.
I am going to ignore them because I know someday they are all going to die horribly in flames.
Okay, so are you walking outside?
Walking to the stable yard to grab a thing of flour from the cart, yes.
Okay, so as you walk outside, there are currently 2 guards out in the courtyard here, and you're going to see them straighten up and look at you as you walk outside. And one of them is going to say to you, "Can I help you, wood elf?"
Oh, thank you. Just getting something from the cart.
We'll just follow you if you don't mind.
I'll shrug and just go about my business.
In case you need any help.
Yeah, I understood you.
So you walk out to the stable yard and retrieve the bag of flour.
Yep. And I'm just going to go back upstairs.
Okay. So you get the flour, and he walks out to the entrance to the stable yard and is just watching you as you grab the flour and then walk back into the inn. So as you walk back in, the innkeeper is going to say, "No cooking in the rooms."
Oh, no, this is for religious purposes.
She just scoffs and goes back to what she's doing.
And I'll go back up to the room.
And at this point, are you all in one room, or who's doing what?
I can't remember how many rooms we got. 3?
3.
So I'm in my room, which I believe I'm sharing with Alexander.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to try and use the flour, to sort of lighten my skin a bit, look more high elfish. Let my hair down, so out of its wood elfy kind of ponytail, and see if I can't just look a little bit less woodsy, a little bit more racist.
So white face.
I thought that's racist. I thought your hair, you'd shaved your head at this point, or did you dye it black?
No, just the sides. So I'm wearing it more or less at a top knot.
Okay.
It's still headcanon that he's bald.
That was you, not me. I gave him hair.
We did dye it black, though, I believe.
Yes, we did. When was that? That was a while back.
I think
But yeah, we did that for this guy's from whatchamething.
So you're taking this flour and trying to make your skin lighter?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Give me
a little bit less wood elf brown, a little bit more high elf honey.
You don't have a disguise kit or anything like that, do you?
No, just cookery.
Does Talia? Or
I
Shane?
I'm going to knock on the door to her room and ask her for some help.
I'm looking up what Thieves' Tools comes with.
It would be a
does not.
separate
You need
kit.
a disguise kit, which none of us have. I checked the inventory.
Okay, in that case, I'll knock on the door and ask Juliet for help, because she's a girl, and girls have makeup skills.
Oh my god, that's
Yes,
so
because-
sexist.
Because Juliet and I have always shown that we always have cosmetics on us. Both of us.
Well, you're the
Totally.
ones who helped me dye my hair, right?
That was ink.
Yeah, I don't know if that qualifies. But certainly, if you're looking to improve the sheen of your scales, by all means. Got some sandpaper right here.
It's a fine grade polishing cloth that you have, probably. A little bit of scale wax. All right, so should I roll something? Performance? Deception?
I would say maybe deception or
Survival.
performance.
All right, it wouldn't matter either way. It's the same sort of roll. Let's see. Crit fail. A 2.
So you start
I
putting
basically
this on.
drop the bag of flour and, just end up with white all over my shoes.
So you've got kind of like you've been really nervous since you've been here. So you are glowing with a sheen of elf sweat. So the stuff started clumping up, and it's getting really thick, and you've turned yourself basically into the Pillsbury Doughboy.
So I'm going to need to wash, and I'm probably not going to be going anywhere tonight.
Alunodas, you look quite clumpy.
I was hoping to look like a high elf. That didn't work.
Talia's gonna lean around the door and say, "Oh my god, what did you do?"
He's all about that pace, No, what elf?
It's funny because that is how you make paste. All right, so my attempt to disguise myself with non-magical means failed horribly. What is everyone else doing for the evening?
Well, once everybody's done discussing or figuring out what they're gonna do, Juliet wants to gather everybody and have like a little
A powwow? You cut off at the end there.
POWWOW.
Yes. We need to find the boots. Any ideas? Talia? Alexander? Juliet?
Well, we already know that it's not findable, which, again, my guess is that it's not here on this plane. This thing looks like it's powerful enough to find something like that, unless it's shrouded by powerful magics. The High Elves are certainly capable of that, but since the Feywild is so close, I don't know. It just feels like the right thing.
That does make a lot of sense. I wish we'd stayed out of the city until we found that out. As sure as we could.
Well, I'd rather be here than embroiled in that civil war that's going on. At least here we can take a rest and eat some food, even if we are under constant surveillance.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of rest. Definitely. Yes, rest. I'm gonna go rest now.
So about this whole rest thing, right? So aren't we supposed to meet the guy tomorrow?
I mean...
I say we run under cover of darkness and just get out.
If we have to do something, yes. I don't think meeting him would be a good idea. We need to not do that. We need to not do that. Not at all. Definitely not. No.
Alunodas, what is the Feygate?
It is, I'm assuming Alunodas knows this. Maybe? Yes, no?
Yeah, you would know what's up with the Feygate. It is basically...
Okay, it is a place where the boundaries between this world and the Fey are thinner. It's easier to get there from here than anywhere else.
So it goes to a different plate?
Yes, to the Feywild? Is that what it is?
Correct.
It goes to the Feywild.
It's one of the
place
few...
where the elves have a close connection.
It's one of the few places that you could go to the plane of the Feywild without having a plane shift spell.
And this thing that she holds up, the not magic 8-ball.
The magic 8-ball.
And this thing said it's not on this plane. Like what? I don't think I think I was asleep for this or gone. Like how did this happen?
It said that it couldn't discover it, right? Or not?
Yep,
it couldn't
that's
determine where the boots were.
Yeah, you asked it where the boots were, and both times you've asked, it said that it was beyond its sight.
So, if it's beyond its sight, isn't it potentially in the Feywild?
Yes, that was what Juliet was suggesting.
Either that, or there's powerful magics that basically are working like a non-detection spell that are hiding it through magical means from scrying.
Yes, it could be cloaked or gone. They could be cloaked or gone.
Because if you remember, when you found the Ring of Plains, you didn't know where it was, and turns out it was inside a box that was protecting it magically.
So it could be here.
Yes.
Or it could be in the Feywild. Or the Abyss, or any other plane. If that's how the statue works, but you don't know that that's how it works. A lot of assumptions going on.
Well, it's not like we are privy to the exact inner workings of magic.
Now what happens when you assume?
Turns you into
It means
assumption.
you have to kidnap a high priest and torture him for information.
I'm not sure that's a very good idea.
Okay, maybe a high bureaucrat who wouldn't be able to fight back. Yeah?
Well, we definitely need more information before we make any rash decisions. They've constantly been watching us.
You guys
Alex.
can easily sneak out and in and out using disguises and spells and stuff. I'm a little bit more limited. I would have to probably get up on the rooftops and run that way if I wanted to get out of this place without them seeing me go. Unless you wanted to help me try disguising myself again.
Oh no.
He holds up his bag of flour and pushes around some clumps on the floor.
Maybe it'd probably be best for us to save this piece till later.
I don't know that we have time for that. We are going to be meeting, or trying to avoid meeting, a member of the companions tomorrow? Something like that?
No, I meant like in the process of getting all the equipment and stuff. Maybe save the boots for a later time, and we'll get another piece in the interim.
Knife Run's gonna pipe up and say, "But we're here already. And if you do remember, we're supposed to be searching for the egg, and this is kind of a sidetrack."
Well, we need both, right? So, the egg and the artifacts.
Well, as much as I enjoy going outside and trying to do discovery things with illusion magic, mine only lasts for about an hour, so I am not certain that's going to be enough time to discover anything of note. I like the idea of going under darkness, but I can't see in the dark, so that is a problem.
Well, Talia can turn into a bat. If she knew where to go, she could get there easily and then sneak around. It would require her to be more by herself than I would like. As in, she would be by herself, and I don't like that.
Knife Run's gonna pipe up and say, "If you're going to do anything, after dark is the best time to do it. These streets aren't well patrolled because, well, there's no crime here."
Yes, there is. This whole city is a crime.
Ignorant
I believe
elf.
Talia says, I believe he's talking existentially, or not existentially, Alunodas. You might have a problem with what's going on here, but they're all pretty happy with their utopia.
Their racist utopia. That's hierarchies and nobility and war and anyway, we should do things.
Go change
So
the
we
world
need to-
on someone else's time, elf.
We need to
Damn
find a way
sick
to
Unleash
bird.
an ancient red dragon to reshape that's all we're doing is changing. Shut up. Anyway, finding the boots and egg.
We need to find a way to escape out of here without the guards seeing us. We need to go under the cover of darkness, try to find the boots, and get out before morning. That's what I want to do. And Talia
like
just looks
that.
at everybody.
Second. Motion to vote.
Okay, but consider that there's a wealth of information in here. I mean, they might even have a library.
Yes, but a library is no good to us if our heads are on the floor.
And do you think they would let a Dragonborn into their precious elf library?
That's not gonna happen.
See? Racism. I think we need to
In
get
that
what information we can and get out of here as quickly as possible. Unless the boots are in the city, in which case we get the boots and get out of here as quickly as possible. This place makes me itch.
Why can't we just kidnap someone who may know something about what's going on in the tower?
See, that's what I suggested.
We find a nice, quiet little place and ask some very pointed questions.
I think we should torture them, but yes.
She's gonna start to explain what, and then just shake her head and say no, or shake her head and say, yeah, we could kidnap someone, but who do we kidnap and how? And she's gonna look at like Alexander and Juliet like for any kind of help here.
I'm sure that we could find. But yeah, you're right. Who do we actually find that would know what we're talking about and know exactly where it would be?
Find someone with some expensive clothes.
So literally anyone in the city?
There's varying degrees.
I think somebody in government or religion or magic. Those would be the people who might know about the boots. But the boots were kept in the city, in the tomb of the what's her name, bad person who locked up Ronaxis. Maybe the who was ever in charge of that building might know where they've been placed.
Well, if we can find some god that's been put on duty of this Red Talon inside the tower, that person may know something. Well, we could always kidnap Eric Tellwright. Wouldn't that be a tell?
Do you think we could? That sounds dangerous.
He is, after all, bawd. And he looks over to Shane and says, "No offense."
None taken.
Who's Shane?
Or Alexander.
Perhaps we could take a more subtle approach. I like the idea of getting information from someone, but I think kidnapping might go a little far.
Nope, sounds far enough to me. Let's go.
Quick and easy.
Hold on, Alexander. I know personally, I'm a very charming woman, but I supplement that with some magic, perhaps. Do you have something similar? We might be able to approach under the cover of an illusion and simply ask our way to this information instead of, tying someone up and poking them with hot steel rods.
That would make sense.
You have...
Have we seen Telrite?
No. Seeing Telrite would be bad.
That's true, but I
said
wasn't
that.
sure if we got like a glance at him or not.
Well, Talia might be able to get a glance at him, and then she could use an illusion spell to imitate him, maybe?
You can certainly try.
Actually, come to think of it, remember the companion we already saw?
That's a bad idea.
Cole?
Yes. Thank you, oh gods, who reminded me of his name. I have it written down here somewhere, but couldn't find it in time. If I were to disguise myself as him and talk directly to Eric, maybe he'd fall for something like that.
Right, that's promising, but one, how would you get to him without... he's a very noticeable piece of shit and would create a stir getting into the city, and also you're very bad at lying.
But I'm
If you're
also a
gonna do that, I would
Dragonborn
recommend
and have the
Alexander.
Dragonborn voice, even though my voice actor doesn't do it.
Does, that's one, racist, that all Dragonborn sound the same. And two, does disguise self also imitate voice?
It does not. Actually, I don't know. I don't believe so.
That would be like saying, well, Hannah's a human. Surely she could just imitate John's voice.
Well, I mean, is he gonna know the difference between different Dragonborn voices?
You're talking
How
about his
similar
friend.
do Dragonborn sound in terms of that gravelly voice? Would you be able to even differentiate as someone who may not know Dragonborn? I don't know.
Are you throwing shade at my voice acting from Cull to Shar?
No, I'm simply saying that the anatomy of Dragonborn, they don't even have lips. Making vocal sounds might be very similar between people of, it might just come down to like looks, and that's the only way you can tell them apart.
I'm just going to go ahead and say you're wrong on that.
Okay.
Thank you, gods, that have reminded us that not all Dragonborn sound the same. Pray.
It's racist.
All right. Also, like I said, Cole would make a splash just coming to the city. I don't know how long you'd be able to hold up the disguise and how well it would hold up to any sort of inspection.
Maybe we can impersonate the head knight dude that brought us in.
I feel like impersonating is probably a bad idea since none of us can keep it up for more than an hour or 3.
Maybe we could cause a huge ruckus throughout the city. Use that to distract the guards. Grab someone and get out of the city. And I want to leave. I want to leave the city really badly.
I hate it here. In the wise words of Will Smith's son,
Yes.
out of character.
I feel like it would be easier to extract information from a guard than someone who might be able to actually kill us.
True.
Oh, Kevin, oh wise god of our universe here. Quick question.
Yes. Is this about your fucking abacus?
No, I dropped that. I got caught up in the semantics of calling you a god and then forgot my question. I'm sorry.
The easier a person is to kidnap and torture and kill, the less likely they are to know anything worth kidnapping and torturing them for.
I will say that the guards that you have interacted with so far either are very tight-lipped about what they know or they just don't know.
Makes sense. I mean, there are some drunk guards downstairs that we could try and get a point of contact through.
There's also the innkeeper and that noble.
Drunk noble. So, Alexander, maybe you should disguise yourself and go have a chat with people downstairs.
Yeah, and then I can lead them up here.
That might actually work. If you can't get enough information out of them down there, bring them back up here, and we'll... No. I don't think we should torture people in here.
Send Juliet down to seduce the elf.
Yeah, I thought about changing my form to a woman, but it's like I don't have a female voice.
Not with that attitude. And who knows? He might not always be, he might not be straight.
Yeah, he might be into drag queens.
Elves are, very fluid, and they tend to be a bit more, I guess, liberal in their terms of gender. That's what the lore seems to state, so...
Transgender elves is the future that liberals want. A lot of that would depend on your performance check, too. Or deception. Flex them bard muscles.
Which bard? Wait, that's me. Never mind.
I mean, Alexander, if you're not comfortable, talking to people, maybe
playing your class.
I could tell you.
We do have the Stone of Communication.
Exactly.
What is that?
Our walkie-talkies.
Oh, you could totally Cyrano him.
But then I'd have to match my voice with the person speaking.
No.
No.
You just talk however you want and just repeat whatever Juliet tells you to say.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I could do that. But I mean, the thing is that I'll figure it out. I will use transform self on myself to become a female elf.
Okay. So what do you look like?
About the same height as Alunodas. Like dirty blonde hair. I am a high elf. Freaking blue eyes, I guess.
Okay.
And I tell them that I'm going to catch a guy, so be ready to ensnare him whenever I bring him up to the room.
Take the stone of sending with you. Juliet will hold the other. You can communicate with us while you're down there.
Also, it might be easier to get information from him just flirting. So, if you can get enough information by just talking to him without us having to torture him in a hotel with guards outside where people can hear us, that would be great.
Not as much fun.
Not nearly as much fun. No, of course not. But, gotta watch out for number one.
This is
and number two, especially when you're flirting.
Sure, but you see, I've got a little condition, it's called a dagger that I have to, that's real hungry,
You should talk to your doctor about that. To see if dagger weighs right for you. All right, so Alexander's going downstairs. You have a stone of sending, and on the other end you have Alunodas, who has the other stone of sending.
Juliet.
Oh, Juliet has it. Okay.
Yeah,
How about
I
a
am the
basic
ideal
group
person.
Okay, so do you know what you need to ask, Shane?
Kinda. You know, this whole like concept of flirting is lost on me, both in RPGs and in real life. So I'm very not sure.
Oh,
All right, well, if you
I
need
read. I actually read something really interesting about flirting recently. Apparently, like less than half of the time, when they did studies where they told people to flirt with someone or they told people not to flirt with someone, people couldn't tell if they were flirting or not. Like, humans can't figure out when they're being flirted with at all. And it's hilarious to me. Sorry. It's not just you though. The world does not, humanity does not understand flirting at all.
Remember, interested is interesting. Ask lots of questions. Talk about him.
So we're trying. So
What's
key
your name?
points. We're trying. What is my name? What are some female elf names?
Juliet,
Google.
Liliana. Alpha Beta.
Gruntilda.
Hold on, I'm Googling.
Soleil.
Principessa.
And also I'm 2 birds in, so I'm kind of buzzed.
Perfect time to flirt.
Alexander, you walk downstairs, and you are going to notice that the innkeeper is not in the room at the time. The 3 guards that were there earlier are still there, and they turn around and look at you as you walk downstairs, and they kind of give you like an odd look, and then they go back to what they were doing, not paying any attention to you. You are going to see the same noble, who you believe may be a noble, the way that he is dressed, over in the corner. He looks a little older for an elf. He's dressed in these fine blue robes. He has rings on almost every finger. He has this like thinning silver hair, and he is currently reading a book and holding a silver chalice full of what appears to be some sort of dark wine.
It's blood. He's a vampire. We can use this. I don't say that in character.
I will walk up to the noble.
You approach, and he looks up and in Elvish says, "Oh, my fair lady, please have a seat and have a drink with me."
I will have a seat. My name is Anastasia.
You speak Elvish.
Let me check.
God.
This will be awesome.
I'm real good at this, I swear.
Because I think you had to cast Comprehend Languages before, but that only allows you to read it.
Yes, I believe it's only read and comprehend. I don't think I did. I don't think I do.
Awesome.
Wouldn't Alunodas be able to translate for him?
He would if he was holding the sending stone.
Thankfully, Juliet does speak Elvish, so...
Oh, okay. Then that means Shane cannot participate in any of the flirting. You'll just be repeating a random crap that Juliet is saying.
Oh, this is going so well.
C. Yo lo quiero el chupacabra?
All right, so what are you doing here?
I am going to clear my throat to where Julia can avidly hear.
Oh, okay, so what you want to do is tell him in common, oh, do you speak common? It's such an exotic language.
Oh, do you speak common? It's such an interesting language.
I do, but it feels like clotted cream in my mouth. It's not a very elegant language.
That's true, but it's good to practice every now and again.
I suppose.
So what are you doing here?
It's been a long day. I'm just having a drink and trying to drown some worries.
And what kind of worries would that be?
This and that. Governmental, mostly.
Oh, you work in the government. Where?
You don't recognize me?
Sorry, I'm not very keen on faces.
I'm Tanith. I'm a member of the small council.
How exciting.
It can be, but most of it's just bureaucracy and coming up with the ideas for the High King to take credit for.
I'm sure you deserve more credit than him.
Of course, I come up with the best ideas.
Like what?
Well, you've heard about the Feydale initiative, right? Replacing all the torches around the city with fairy fire.
Who hasn't?
That's me. But enough about me, darling. Tell me more about you. You're such a beauty. How have I never seen you around this part of town before?
I'm more of a night shift kind of person. I don't work much during the day.
You're one of those ladies?
I guess you could say that.
Yes, you must have a drink with me.
I would love to. Maybe back in my room.
Do you have a room here?
Yeah, right upstairs.
It's very high class.
I'll go ahead and get up and start walking towards the stairs and give him like a nod towards the room.
He is going to close his book and put it in a satchel by his waist and grab his wine cup and stand up and start to follow you. You see that he's very unsteady on his feet.
Out of character, I just want to state that if you guys have issues with this, Juliet does have the thing to my ear. Like, you guys can communicate with me.
Well, I mean, kind of. It's kind of like this relay.
It's also a little bit
race.
Okay. Talia's gonna look at Juliet. Alright, let's clear out of this room and tell him that we're clearing out of the room and he's going to be alone with this guy and try to talk to him in a private setting if he needs us to say the word pineapple.
Okay. Are pineapples a thing in Faerun or Sewell?
It is, but it actually refers to a small breed of rodent.
That's fine. It's a safe word. It doesn't need to make sense.
D&D safe word. Never thought that would ever come out of my mouth. Alright, so, what are you doing here?
I will go upstairs to the room that Juliet and them were in that they've cleared out of.
Juliet, did you tell him that you were clearing the room out for him?
I didn't realize he was coming back to a room that was Juliet's. Which room are you headed to? Because Juliet is in her room gathered.
I thought that freaking Talia was talking vicariously through you to me about emptying out the room.
I guess
Yeah,
she
I
is. Okay.
It will now be the room with the sock on the door handle.
Then they will have emptied out the room.
Okay, so you scramble to various other rooms. Shane, I guess you're taking this noble upstairs?
Give me half a second, please. I am looking up a specific spell.
It just gives you advantage on charisma checks.
Elves have advantage to charmed effects, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But friends is not a charmed effect. I don't think it doesn't say anything about that in the description. It just gives you advantage on charisma checks.
But friends don't they know after the spell ends that you've cast it on them?
Yes, that is 100% true, and they may seek retribution at your DM's discretion. And if he wants to tell on us about charming him, then I guess there's not much we can do about that. But it's either that or we torture him, and then he screams, and then the entire inn knows, and we're totally screwed. Unless Alexander can somehow imply that there's heavy bondage going on, because that's the only excuse I could possibly think of.
Oh God, you've broken Kevin.
Pineapple. Elven safe
Well, we
word.
do have lots of leather, so let's go with it.
All right. So what are you doing?
I will lead him into the room.
Okay. So he follows you up the steps, and you open the door, and he walks in behind you.
I will turn around and then use suggestion to suggest that he, when you like to go to sleep, when you like to go lay down and sleep for a bit,
Elves don't sleep.
meditate.
Okay. What is the DC saving throw?
1 moment.
Probably 10 plus proficiency plus his charisma modifier.
I think it's 8 plus proficiency.
And he would have an advantage versus this, wouldn't he?
I believe that it's 15.
And it is a charm spell, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he gets advantage. He rolled an 11 and a 2.
Yes!
Now, what is your suggestion? Because you have to say a sentence or two.
Oh, I did before.
Wants him to meditate. Basically, the Elven version of going to sleep.
Oh,
But that just
I thought we were
puts
going to
him
ask
into
him
a
questions, but
semi-conscious state.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can tie him down and then gag him beforehand, you know?
So he's going to walk over to the bed and sit down and stare at the wall and start meditating.
I whisper into the thing, Juliet, get in here.
All right, Juliet.
Don't go in there. He didn't say the word pineapple.
Pineapple.
Juliet will go in there. Okay. What do you want me to do, Alexander? Don't elves not sleep? Why is he sitting there?
He's in a meditation state. He doesn't know we're here. I think we should just tie him down, right? And then we can try and get what information we can out of him.
I didn't realize we were going that route.
Can you suggest you tell the truth?
I can, but that would require another cast, which would release him from this one, I believe. Yeah, it's only for the specific instance that I put him in. So in this one, I suggested that he lay down and meditate.
Alright. Tie him up, gag him, suggest at him until it works, and then we'll question him.
What level spell is that?
It's a 2nd level spell.
And how many of those do you have left?
I have 2 2nd level spots, but I can downgrade from a 3rd level, yeah?
Or
Yep.
boosted to 3rd.
Yeah, you can upcast it.
Yeah, so I have 5 casts left in total. So 2 level 2 spell slots, and then 3 level 3 spell slots.
All right, so he's sitting on the bed, and you have tied him up and gagged him, and he still appears to just be meditating.
Okay, guys, what should we ask him for my suggestion to work?
Well,
You want to answer all of our questions truthfully?
Yeah, I think something broad like that could work. But we have to make it something that he would reasonably do, yeah?
Well, he's tied up and gagged. And it would be reasonable to answer our questions truthfully so we don't kill him.
You know, that's kind of true. What do the gods say about this, Kevin?
I have no opinion.
That's reasonable.
I think it would have been easier to get out information out of him without having to torture or gag him.
I was going to
But that's
second
just
that,
me.
but
Yep.
we've already crossed that line.
I mean, have we
So
though?
he-
He's just meditating. He doesn't know he's been tied up or gagged. We could just untie him and,
True.
have Juliet or have Alexander put on something more comfortable and be like, hey, so you want to talk? Or something, I don't know.
Yes, put on a slinky gown or the illusion of a slinky gown, give him a cup of wine, and talk to him about boots. You're really into boots. It works in the context.
I just love boots. I just can't help myself.
No, you gotta say it's sexy.
I'm into the ropes.
I am but a slave to my desires.
And this dagger.
I like Talia's suggestion a lot, and am somewhat afraid of how she knows so much about this.
She used to hang out with hookers.
She grew up on the
Yeah,
street,
streetwalkers.
son.
That's true.
Streetwalkers were some of my best friends. They're great people.
Gotta love them. They're really good listeners. You have no idea.
Winch with a heart of gold. What are you doing?
Okay, we're untying him. First of all, we're ungagging him so he is completely A-OK safe here.
But I like the whole feeding my knife more.
Can do
at the
that
end of
later.
this.
After we get our information, kill him, fine, whatever. But first, get the information non-violently if at all possible. So we clear out of the room. Leave Alexander alone with slightly drunk noble guy.
Okay, so suggest that he sit down and talk, like Talia was saying, and answer all of your questions to the best of his ability.
Right, but if that doesn't work, he's gonna know and fight me. So that's why we bound and gagged him, so that we can do the successful suggestion, to which point he'll answer our questions.
What do you
well,
mean
he did.
knows?
He did come upstairs. He did come upstairs with no coercion.
Suggested he rest because he looked tired. Now he's well rested, so you can continue your conversation more intimately.
I guess I'm just confused. How is he gonna know you cast a spell if he is asleep?
I mean, wouldn't you have to be conscious for him to hear what I'm saying? For him to be affected by the spell? Or can I just cast suggestion willy-nilly even when he's asleep?
There's no
Or you could-
specification that it has to hear and understand you. I don't know if that would qualify.
Or you could just shake him awake if you're trying to wake him up.
Yeah, you don't even have to cast the spell on him. Just seduce him.
Don't worry, we'll
Cast the
give you.
spell if it seems like that's not working. You're a bard. You can do this.
We believe in you and your skimpy clothing.
Okay, I'll fucking rag him awake. I'll shake his shoulder.
Okay, is he still tied up?
No, we
No.
untied him.
Okay. So he rouses awake and says, "Oh, I had a little lapse, if you say. Oh, well, were we beautiful?"
Oh, we were just talking. You got sidetracked and accidentally fell asleep, so I just waited a little bit to wake you up.
Oh, thank you. What were we talking about?
We were talking about shoes, you know? I'm a big fan. And I heard that you were talking and saying that you are too.
Yes, look at these. And he's going to raise up his foot, and he has these nice calfskin leather boots that are trimmed in gold. I have these custom made. Aren't they beautiful?
Sure are.
But enough
Hey.
about boots. Tell me more about you, darling.
Kevin, quick question.
Okay.
What's the name of the person with the super boots that we're trying to look for? I'm terrible with names.
That would be Elysian Silverbow.
Elysian Silverbow.
Oh, she had a fine pair of boots.
Yeah, I heard she had some very unique boots. Do you know anything about that?
Well, every elf, high elf in the city knows about Elysian Silverbow. Good, very powerful magic boots.
Yeah, but I can't remember. What did they do again?
Oh, they said that they gave her great power in battle.
I've even heard rumors that they're still around. Somewhere.
Yes, I mean, you can't really destroy them. I mean, they're an artifact as far as I know. Plus, I mean, who would want to destroy such a beautiful and precious thing?
Oh, so you've seen it?
I haven't seen them personally, no.
But they do exist. Any clues on, like, where they might be? Should I roll a persuasion?
Yeah.
10.
Why do you want to know about those boots? Let's talk more about you, Dolly. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from a bit farther south.
You're not a wood elf, are you? You don't look like one.
No, not at all. Wood elves are terrible people. That's why I came here.
Aren't they, though?
Sure are. And what brings you around here? Were you born here?
Of course I was born here. Born and raised. My father was on the small council before me, and of course, after he died, I was elevated to the small council as well.
What are some things that you've done lately?
Other than the Fairy Fire initiative around the city? This and that,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I don't
sure that you've done everything.
I don't want to bore you with the bureaucratic details. Let's talk more about you.
Sorry, before that, what do you think about the war? I mean, it's raging pretty serious right now. I'm sure that has something to do with the council.
Well, I mean, it's been pretty much scraps here and there, and basically a cold war, but I've heard even just this evening that there was quite the battle down below the Fae Shrine.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I hear. But that's boring. Tell me, do you like poetry?
Of course, who doesn't?
Who's your favorite author?
History check, please.
You're a bard. You definitely know this shit.
What kind of check do you think that'd be, Kevin?
Probably history. Or performance.
I got a 15. I'm fine with history.
Yeah, so you would know various poets. And especially high elven poets.
I will name off a random high elf poet because of someone that is known for their xenophobia.
Okay. And he is like, oh, Talisian, I love him.
Oh yeah? What do you like about him?
It's just his way of words and being able to spin such imagery. And then he's going to spout out a couple of lines from like a sonnet from this poet. And you take up a couple of lines after that. You see that he's just enamored with you.
Okay, so Shane, you're doing well.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel like if you could. I bet they're given high elves idolatry of beautiful things. I bet there is a poem about, like, just say one of your favorites is, and then it's a poem about the person whose boots they were, and bring the conversation back to that, and try again with asking where it is.
I have a feeling he doesn't actually know anything about the boots. I feel like we might have to ask him who does.
They've been moved.
I was thinking about bringing up that my grandparents were one of the people that crafted the boots.
Ooh,
She
that's
made
pretty
the boots
dangerous.
herself. So maybe your grandparents were friends of hers.
Or maybe there's a family legend that one of your like, maybe you don't know for sure, but you know how you have those family legends, like, for example, my family, one branch of my family is supposed to be related to Pocahontas. Real talk. Something like that, where like, oh well, I heard that I have some relation, back, if you go a ways, like farther back than anyone actually cares, then I have a relation to this person. And do something like that.
Well, remember, for elves, it's much more recent. So this would be like 3 or 4 generations for elves, as opposed to, 500 or 15 for...
Well, how old do elves get?
400 or 500 years. So it's more like
Oh, I
6
thought it was like
Elven
40 or
lifetimes.
50.
You're saying
But,
that
like,
elves only get 40 to 50 years old?
I don't know, or maybe that was someone else. Okay, so, but no, like farther back in your,
They become an adult at 40 or 50, or they go through their bar mitzvah
Ah.
at 40 or 50.
but no, like back, like 5 generations ago, you have some kind of relation to this person, supposedly, like she's your like 4th cousin or something like that. Like that was my thought, is that you have some kind of relation that your family holds on to because it makes you feel makes your family feel important. But like everybody has that in their family, so you don't have to prove it. You just have to say, oh well, I heard in my family that we're
She's my great aunt.
yeah, she's my 3rd cousin twice removed or something like that, and bring the conversation back.
So are you trying to get out of fucking? Because at this point he thinks you're a prostitute.
Yeah, that's about what I'm trying to get to. Because this whole like disguise thing doesn't hold up under any scrutiny of feel,
Touch.
All right, so what are we doing?
Start reciting poetry about Elysium. I say that was a good idea, Hannah. Or maybe
Yeah,
that was
Talia's gonna take the stone from
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
take the stone from Juliet and say, Alexander, just I know you're a bard. You should know some poetry about that particular savior. Say something like, "Oh, this is one of my favorites. Also, I know it's not by the same author, but," and then recite some kind of poem about that person. About what is her name? I'm terrible with names too. Elysian. And say a poem about that one and bring the conversation back around. You really don't want to let this conversation get outside of, comfortable topics.
I'm just imagining like somebody's on the phone with someone and their girlfriends are like around them, and this is like landline days, and they're like, "Give me the phone," and you tell them this.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what's happening.
All right, Alexander, what are you doing?
I will do as Talia suggested, and then I will tell him that this isn't the same author, but this is one of my favorites, and then do a poem about Elysian Silverbow.
All right, give me a performance check.
17.
So he just sits there on the bed enthralled, and when you get done, he's actually going to do a small clap. He says, "That's absolutely beautiful. Who is that? What author?"
What would the author be, Kevin?
Just give me a deception check and make up some bullshit.
Your great grandmother.
Arthurian Goldbow.
I haven't heard of that author, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, Elysian Silverbow is one of my heroes,
Well, of course, she was a savior.
And a fashion icon.
And apparently, if you go back enough in my family line, it does trace back to her. Not directly, like a 2nd or 3rd cousin, but pretty close.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, most people here in Feydale are related to her in some way. So the night is getting late, and I have to get up early in the morning, so are we going to do this or not? And he is going to pull out a sack at his side and start, like, counting out platinum pieces.
Now would be a great time to knock him out, undress him, and take his money. Make him think he got what he paid for, but not actually.
You haven't learned anything at this
that?
point.
We ain't learned shit.
I mean, how would I do that?
How would you do what? Knock him out?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got 2 options. One is the messy way, and the other way is where you punch him or something.
Alexander is not strong enough for punching.
What's the messy way?
Oh, I mean, I leave
Stabbing.
that up to him to figure out.
You can still cast suggestion, like, 4 more times?
Yeah, but wouldn't he be aware that I'm trying to use suggestion? If it fails?
he wouldn't know if it fails, but I believe it has a visual component, so he might see you casting it. So unless you give him an excuse as to what the spell is, then he might be a witch. But if you say, like, oh, it's to enhance the experience, then maybe that would work.
Suggest a massage.
Far away from here.
No. I'm not magically suggest, but tell him you're going to massage him, and then he'll be face down on the bed, and you can cast any spells you need to.
Right in the back of the skull.
Or you could just lie back and take one for England.
Jesus Christ.
Pineapple. All right, what are you doing?
This is a tough one, Kevin. It's like I'm being on the price ain't right.
10, 9, 8. Come on, man.
He's counting out those platinum.
How about we start off with the massage, and then I will use, actually, I don't think I need to use suggestion.
Excellent idea. And he's going to roll over on his back after he takes off his tunic. He's got pasty high elf skin.
And saggy old man boobs.
I guess I'll start massaging him, I guess.
He's like,
Use the Incus oils.
I didn't bring any cooking oil up. You'll have to use the flour.
All right, you start rubbing on him.
You know, I've actually, since we're talking about it earlier, I've been really interested. Do you know somebody that would know about more about Elysian Silverbow?
Well, maybe the clerics or historians. I know quite a bit about her. Oh, more up, left, to the left. Up. Oh, that's the spot. Lower.
Do you know who would know about like where her boots are? And I would like to try and use suggestion.
Okay. Do it.
DC 15.
That is a 13 and a 5.
Sick. So where would the boots be? Who would know where the boots are?
Well, they're not in the city anymore.
Would they be in the Feygate?
Yes, they've been moved there. That's what all this commotion's about. We moved the boots inside the Fey after there was an attack by the Red Talons who tried to steal the boots. And then, of course, we had to close the gate off, and the Wood Elves weren't too happy about that. Oh, lower. Harder, yes, right there. Harder.
Was there a particular person in charge of the boots?
I don't know. Oh, yes, that's good. I don't know the particular person in charge of it. I know there's been rotating guards. Oh, lower. Yes, right there. Oh, yeah. There's been guards moving in and out protecting it, but I don't know who's in charge of protecting the boots themselves.
I will use suggestion again. You know, I think I'm done here. Maybe you should just go to sleep.
That's a 14 and a 7. And
sick.
So, you're going to hear him fall silent. He doesn't appear to be responsive. How long does that last?
8 hours.
Okay.
Duration is 1 hour for... No, that's disguise self. I'm a goofball.
Yep, suggestion is concentration up to 8 hours.
Yep.
And you are enjoying that way too much, Kevin.
Oh, I just love hearing y'all squirm.
It's extremely entertaining for me as well. Okay.
I will dissipate the disguise self and then go to the room where they are.
Take his money.
Yeah, take his money.
Yeah, I mean, we will. He's in our
And
room.
his clothes.
Like, what do you want from me? I mean, I'm gonna take his life, but that's just me. But so we've got the information that it's in the Feygate now, so we should probably just run away now before in the dead of night while they're not paying attention to us as much. And then I'll take his life to feed my dagger. We can take his possessions and then just skedaddly do.
I know you want to feed the dagger, but I think that taking the life of someone in the room that we specifically under our names rented is a real bad idea.
Well, under someone's names. But we do need to get out of the city as quickly as possible before we run into this companion. And feeding the dagger on the way out isn't a bad idea. The real problem is how we're going to get past the guards.
I mean, me and Juliet can use disguise self. Juliet can turn into a bat. So that leaves...
I mean, the problem, we also have to get our horses and all of our stuff. So it's not going to be particularly easy. Because, I mean, they're watching the stables.
Maybe me and Juliet can grab that stuff disguised, and then nobody will question us.
Or what we could do is disguise ourselves as elven guards who are here to repossess or confiscate some, goods and stuff. The horse, for the good of the elven city. I don't know, someone who's in charge.
Talia, do you have disguise self?
I sure do. I can give you my cloak if you'd like, but you have to give it back.
Well, no, what I was thinking is that you you sneak out, fly out, whatever, disguise yourself as an elven messenger from, what's his name, the companion, saying that we have orders to leave the city. He doesn't need to meet with us, he's sending us out of the city. Right now, on an urgent mission thanks to the information he got from the Red Talon.
That sounds real dangerous. I'm down. If you guys think that not... I feel like just sneaking out, like Juliet's idea, where we're there to confiscate the goods. And... yeah, I don't know. If that is the determination of the group, that I should try to pretend like I'm some kind of messenger. If we can pull it off.
I could do that. I have a higher deception.
He does have a higher deception.
That's true, but okay, so you disguise yourself, walk out, change your disguise, walk back in as a messenger?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you would, and you just deliver the message to the captain of the guard saying that he is to escort us out of the city. We are being sent east to some place to the east on urgent business to fight the Red Talons.
So around this time, Nifron's going to walk out, hearing some stuff going on in these rooms, and he looks in and sees this elf noble on a bed and tied up, and Alexander in the room, and he's like, what the hell's is going on in here?
He wasn't tied up.
He's asleep.
Okay.
He's
Regardless.
naked, but he's asleep.
Information gathering and knife feeding,
I see. Julian, anything interesting?
Yes. The boots are located in the Feywild. Well, Feygate.
It makes sense. That's why the statue couldn't find out where it was. So, are we leaving?
Yes.
Just figuring
we're
out
talking
how.
about that right now.
Well, we could just wait till it's late and mutter us way out.
I'd rather do it without being chased the whole way out, if at all possible. There's a lot of people here.
Being chased is your new life, Elf.
Yes, but it would be easier to get into the Feygate if we didn't have the army chasing us there.
How would they know that we're going to the Feygate?
If we slaughter our way out, I'm assuming people would call the guards. We're going to have to get through the gates to get back out of the city. I mean, I'm all in favor of murder and mayhem, but there's a matter of practicality to consider as well.
I suppose. I'll tell you this, the northern gates usually aren't as heavily guarded as the southern gates. We could probably...
That makes a lot of sense.
We could probably just go out and make our way east up the river. Then back south down to the Feygate.
And how many guards are we looking at here at the inn?
He is going to look out the window to the front and look out the window to the back.
Well, I actually
count
assume that
3.
Alunodas, with his obsessive watching, would know this himself, too.
Yeah, you would know that there's 2 on the front of this inn, and there's 1 in the back that is near that gate that you went out previously in the back end of the stables.
So, you're doing a shocking pincher maneuver.
Is there a back door in straight into the stable yard that the front guards wouldn't see?
You don't know.
Well, I was just thinking Alunodas might, since he went out there earlier. He might have seen something.
Well, they did see when I walked into the stable yard, somebody saw me. I'm assuming that was the guard at the back gate. Was he inside the stable yard?
No. When you went, that was a guard out front that followed you into the stable yard when you went to go get flour. But there would be a reasonable assumption that there would be a back door out of the inn that would be sort of a service entrance for delivering goods and such.
Here's an idea. Alexander could disguise himself as the noble and have something to do with that. He's a member of the small council. He would be able to probably, order the guards around.
I like it.
That makes sense.
And you have spent a lot of time with this noble, so I would give you advantage on any sort of performance or deception check based on being him.
Neat.
Try sending some of the guards away on the pretext that you want them to go fetch you a carriage. And that would make it easier for us to sneak out or just murder the remainers. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
I'm so disappointed you're not going to be doing any shopping in Feydale. I created backstories and everything for the shopkeepers.
I do not believe you.
I believe Kevin through and through. All praise Kevin.
All praise Kevin. The nighttime is the right time. All right, so I think that's probably a pretty good place to end it right there. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. If I could ask a halfling-sized favor, give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's the best way to support us. New episodes come out every Monday, so make sure to check your podcast app. Do you have an idea to make the podcast better? Tell us about it on Twitter or Facebook. You can also check out our website to see all the maps, lore, and characters at dungeonsanddebaclespodcast.com. And now a word from our fantasy sponsor. Want to throw hatchets? We got hatchets, and you can throw them at the hatchet throw. Bring your own hatchet or use some of ours. We don't care. We got big hatchets and small hatchets. We even have very small axes. Want to throw daggers? We don't have daggers. We have hatchets, and you can throw them inside our building. You can throw them at stumps with red circles painted on them. We also got stumps shaped like half-orcs because they are attacking us, but they don't have red circles on them. So come to the hatchet throw in downtown Ashfell. We also have ale, wine, and mead. People say hatchet throwing and ale is not a good combination, but what do they know? We also have hatchets to throw, but no daggers. Hatchet throw.
I think now's a good time.
Yeah, I think getting out of the city will take us a little while.
A hot minute.
Not as hot as the minutes that just came before.
Lower.
I hope you
Flips
didn't
over.
feel too uncomfortable about that, Shane.
I'm too intoxicated to feel uncomfortable.
Okay, good.
Drink till you can't feel those feelings anymore. So you didn't get
Just
triggered.
double checking, because a lot of people are uncomfortable with that kind of stuff, and we didn't even really ask about it.
I didn't think it would get that far, personally. He was on a good track, and then...
I was a tad bit uncomfortable going into it, and then I downed 2 beers leading up, and I was like, this is fine. I'm okay with
sorry.
the situation that's occurring
Next
right
time
now.
I'll do all the seducing, okay? And you can ask all the questions.
Talia.
What's that?
Talia's already been. Someone already attempted to seduce Talia once, and it was super uncomfortable. As long as it's not
Do you want
her.
to see my skulls?
Actually, no. She's been tried to seduce twice. Once when she pretended to be a 21-year-old human girl, and once by,
Michael or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I think it was Michael.
I am a
Yeah,
20-year-old beep boop bop boop.
I don't know that he was trying to seduce you. It was a lot more
Well, he
innocent
did give
than
her a
that.
knife. That's pretty damn seducing. Seducious.
All I gotta say is you turn yourself into an attractive elf woman and you open the door for what you got.
Oh, so wait. No, you're saying he was asking for it?
Oh.
Look at what he was wearing.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. In Kevin's defense, Alexander did suggest that he was a prostitute, so he was going to pay her. I mean, there was going to be in the elf's mind a legal potentially legal transaction between them.
Yeah, this wasn't
You know-
rapey at all.
Oh,
He suggested to
super
me
right.
that I was a prostitute. You know, I just said that I worked during the nighttime. Okay?
And then you went along
Let's
with
get
it.
the fact. Sure, I did go along with it. Anything to further my agenda.
Oh god.
Oh, okay, I get it. So murdering someone to feed a dagger is okay, but prostitution isn't. Bunch of fucking prudes.
Prostitution's fine.
Oh no, like I said, I don't know if it's
prostitution's
legal in
great.
the city, but that was my only comment. I think it should be legal everywhere. That's just my
Mhm.
opinion.
Maybe they just don't. It's maybe they don't have any crime because there's not enough rules to break.
Oh, I see.
Maybe they don't have any crime because it all boils down to sex and they can pay for it here.
Potentially.
Yep.
So I'll see everybody next week. Thanks for playing. I had a lot of fun on this episode. I hope you did.
Yeah,
too.
this was
We could
this was
tell.
fun and uncomfortable for everyone.
I hope I made it sufficiently awkward enough.
Absolutely, it was glorious. Have a good night, guys.
Later.
Yep. Bye.
See ya.
The music you heard on this episode was Teller of the Tells, Hard Boiled, and Secret of Tiki Island by Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.